Travel and Things in association with Rugged Wear, Real People, Real Clothing, Real Solutions presents In Conversation With. My name is David Batshoffen and I'm your host this morning. And today we're chatting about Chacma Bush Camp. What I hear you say is a Chacma. Well, it's a baboon here in South Africa. And talking of baboons, and no slight intended, the primate I'm interviewing this morning is Courteney Blunden, who's the CEO of Sun Destinations. Courteney, good morning. Welcome to you.
Good morning, David. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. I'm sure you've never been introduced as a primate before.
No, but it's all good. You always.
Thank you. I know after this we'll never see each other again. No, hopefully not. Courteney, tell me a bit about Chacma Bush Camp. That was my second visit, or recently was my second visit. Loved the camp. And I suppose you work on the principle, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, so Chacma Bush Camp is a really quaint and intimate little camp on the foothills of what's known as Chacma Berg in the Maseke Game Reserve. Okay, Maseke Game Reserve is a land-claimed piece of land by the Maseke tribe, which was basically then zoned off and used as a commercial tourism area. It's open to the Kruger National Park and forms part of the Greater Baluli. It's got its own APU and security setup, but it does fall under the Greater Baluli and open into the Kruger National Park. So it is a beautiful piece of land. It's got some Olifants River. It's got beautiful little koppies and mountains. It's got mixed woodland, Mapani Veld, and lovely grasslands. It's very varying and excellent place to traverse on vehicle or foot. It also has a lot of old mica mines, which make it quite an landscape.
Yeah, I seem to remember we stopped for one of our sundowners at one of those mines. It's very interesting. And the view from up there is truly spectacular. I think Balule is sort of coming into its own because people know about Klaseri, they know about Timbavati, all of those areas. But when you mention Balule, they sort of get a weird look on their faces until you explain where it is and what's available to visitors there.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is in 2016, when I was first offered to move north in up on the edge of the Greater Kruger, I was a bit hesitant, because you always have this stigma in your head about properties, everything from the south, Sabi Sand, Manyeleti, Timbavati, and everything sliding that way. And I was very pleasantly shocked at the actual quality of game viewing and wilderness experience that it has. It far exceeds any of our expectations and is often better than a lot of places further south. It's like I said, it's so diverse. Lions, amazing, huge herds of elephants, buffalo. Everything is great. Plains game, you name it. And as I said, walking in the bush there, we find a lot of pottery, all sorts of strange and interesting things that you don't get in other areas that have been commercial for longer.
Yeah. Now you were talking. I just want to go back to the screen, if I may. You were talking earlier about elephants, and this particular waterhole, which is right in front of the camp, seems to have become home to at least some of the ellies in the area, and they come down 2-3 times a day. And you're sitting on a deck that's less than 20 meters from them, and you're only separated by a couple of strands of an electric fence.
Yes, so the swimming pool area and the room area are obviously about 1.5 meters off the ground. Yeah. So you're slightly elevated, and there's an elephant strand just to keep them out of camp so they don't damage the trees. That's the main reason. Obviously, we advise the guests not to walk out under the fence and go towards anything. Yeah. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, you sit looking onto the waterhole. Elephants come down 2-3 times a day, like you say. In the evening, predators often wander down and have a drink while you're having dinner. And we've got obviously a borehole pump there, and when our tanks are full, it overflows into the dam. And when the elephants hear the overflow happening, it's like a magnet. It pulls them straight in. They come and enjoy the fresh water straight out the pipe. and then they splash and wallow with the dirty, muddy water.
You were talking about predators coming down for dinner. We'd gone out for a game drive one evening. One of the guests had left in the morning, and he was desperate to see leopard, and it didn't happen because leopard are like that. They don't come when you call them, type of thing. He left. We went out on drive, and we were sort of bumbling around, and we get a call from camp going, "Come back. There's a leopard at the waterhole." So we luckily weren't too far out. We came back. We did get a sighting. Not great because she was very skittish and we didn't want to scare her. So we just watched in the available light. But I managed to snap off one image, which I sent to said guest in England, who was rather uncomplimentary, should I say, in his outburst.
No, that's what happens. Safari, it's all about timing, and it's all about the more you go, the luckier you get as well, like they say. Chacma Bush as well. Another thing is it's when I said it's intimate, it's only got 3 rooms, all right, and rather than rooms, 3 suites. The first suite is basically got a king size bed, lovely sleeper couch for kids if they are traveling with their parents. The second room has got its own individual adults room with bunk beds in the children's room, a separate room, and then the third suite has also got capability to put extra beds, and so the camp can sleep 10 packs in total. Otherwise 6 adults if it's only adults in camp. It's perfect for small groups and for family travel, and then obviously it's also great for normal FIT couples, honeymoons, anything traveling.
But now what you forgot to mention is that first room, which is sort of next door the office type of thing, also has a veranda which has even better access to the waterhole, because those ellies are literally on. If it wasn't for that single strand, they would be on your veranda, let alone at the waterhole.
No, it is incredible. The elephants really make it. It's a great experience. And as the camp is named Chacma, the baboons come every morning, every afternoon onto the koppie there. Great alarm system to tell you if there's a leopard or lions walking nearby. Vervet monkeys, clip springers in the garden, warthogs. It really is a wonderful experience. Mocking chats coming from the hill. The bird life is exquisite. It really is a unique place, and it feels almost like you're in another piece of somewhere in Africa. It feels like Metopus to me often when I'm there in Zimbabwe.
I have to agree with you. This is what I was saying. People sort of poo-poo Balule or don't know about it, and very seldom travel up that way unless they're going right to the top end of Kruger to go in at Pafuri and that type of thing. But I think they should stop off and make it dry, as they say, and go and visit the camp. But you mentioned breakfast, lunch, and supper. I came back with nothing fitting, and it's all your fault. I'm sending you my dietitian's account.
No.
The food offering is tremendous.
No, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it's a thing we're trying to get out there. Anything north of the Klaseri Timbavati, Baluli side is excellent. Game viewing is excellent. We've got huge space, massive traverse. It's really, really cool.
What, if any, because I seem to remember I was there in 2016 or 2017 the last time, and I know that you'd just done renovations at that particular point, or you were in the midst of doing them when I was at the camp. Those are now complete. Have you got any other plans afoot for the camp, or is this it for now anyway?
No. So we've got a few plans. We want to extend where the fire pit is currently. We want to close that up and build a big public area with a bar and a small safari lounge.
Okay.
It'll also have another option for dining. And then we would like to open another suite. Okay. So where the office and lounges, we would open that into build that into another room like suite 1, so on the waterhole, and then extend by another suite. Also, a good point to note is Chacma, or the Maseke Reserve, is home to the Afrikaan Foot Wilderness Trail, which is our mobile walking safari that happens on the same reserve, and it's a sister Chacma.
Okay, so if people talk to me a bit about that, if people are interested in that, what does that involve, Courtney?
Okay, so the Wilderness Trail involves 3 days of walking in the Maseke, 3 nights, should I say, 4 days. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday departure, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, Sunday is turnaround time. So it's 3 nights in the bush, set departures. You sleep in lovely dome tents with ensuite bucket shower and chemical toilets, and every day the camp moves with you.
Okay.
So you walk to your next camp, and my team sets up the following camp for you, taking your luggage, your stuff, everything in your own tent. As you get there, it's all done, and you walk between 10 to 16 kilometers a day, depending on what we find. If we're tracking animals or going on a normal route,
Yeah.
you get to see you get to see different stuff that you don't see when you're driving on roads, and you learn a lot about the fauna and flora outside of a vehicle. Then every evening you go on a lovely sundowner drive, and on the third night you sleep on the banks of the Olifants River.
Oh, wow.
Which is unmatched. Yeah, it's beautiful. It is one of Africa's greatest rivers. And once again, you camp down there, and you're on complete wild Africa with hippos and crocs and elephants and everything, including even black rhino around you. Yeah.
And if people have never slept out in the bush, either in a tent or specifically just under the stars, it is a whole different experience, let me tell you, people, because when the sun goes down, when the big light in the sky gets switched off, noises happen that you've never heard before. Forget sirens and the shouting of people in a suburb. The silence is deafening. And the moment you hear a noise, you have no idea what it is. You have no point of reference for a lot of those noises. So it's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and great that people are offered it, Courtney, without having to sort of take huge backpacks with and all of that type of stuff, which puts a lot of people off. I think they want to do, what do they call it, slack packing, where they can carry a day pack with some water and some snacks in it, and then just enjoy the walk. And as you point out, learning about stuff as you go, because you drive over a lot of stuff when you're in a vehicle, and you drive past a lot of stuff, even if it's just a dung beetle scurrying along the ground type of thing.
That's it, 100%. There's something very unique and special about camping in comfort, waking up in the dark, having a cup of coffee around the fire. You hear the lions, and then the guide says to you, come, we're going off and we're heading towards those lions to go and try and find them on. So that's the real thing.
So just to put people's minds at rest, these aren't gung-ho people who are just going, let's go and look for lions. These are well-trained guides. They're carrying weapons with them for protection, or to shoot the guests if the guests get in the way, not to kill animals.
No.
But the guests that visit can rest assured that they will be looked after properly, taken in and out of sightings correctly, so that they enjoy their visit and they're not terrified the entire time.
100%, yeah. 2 guides, both armed, both trained, worked for Africa on Foot for years in our systems. Going into sightings, the perfect sighting is moving and viewing an animal without it even knowing you're being there.
Yeah.
And then getting back and moving on.
But I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that when you're doing a walk, it's not necessarily big game sightings that you're looking for. Those are almost incidental. It's all the other stuff that you're looking for. The bits of pottery, perhaps, tracks and signs that you can be shown, so that they'll go, oh, here's a leopard track. It was here this morning, but now it's walking east and we are walking west, so we don't have to worry about that, but just worry about the buffalo that you can't see, that's standing behind a blade of grass about 3 meters away.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, tracks, signs, smells, tastes, learning things, survival techniques, where to get water in the bush, looking where the elephants and other animals get water, different fruits, different seasons bring different things. And the walks go from March to end of October.
Okay, so they're not going to walk in the rainy season, because I think there's nothing worse than being out in the bush in the pouring rain with wet impala watching them. And they go, we're used to this, you're not.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Tell me a bit about Sun Destinations, Courtney, what it offers as a company as well.
Okay, so Sun Destinations is a marketing, sales, and reservations company that has a portfolio of lodges throughout South Africa and Botswana. We offer excellent experiences for affordable, in the sense of value for money prices. You know, affordable is a relative term. We've got extremely high-end products. We've got 3-star products, but every single product is unique to each other, as well as being in one of the best iconic areas in Southern Africa. So that's what Sun Destinations does. We own a few of the brands, and the rest we work in partnership with their owners. Most of our properties that we market and do reservation and sales for are family owned and run.
Which makes a difference to guests visiting, because it's almost like walking into somebody's home, which makes your guests feel comfortable, and it makes the guest experience just that tad better.
Yeah, so basically we like to keep things like that, so that we know when we're taking somebody somewhere, it's authentic, and the experience is going to be on a constant. So if you visit a Sun Destination camp, or you visit 3, at all of them, you'll feel the same consistency of family owned and run, and not massive corporate owned products.
Well, as you say, a maximum of 10 people if they're kids, 6 if they're not at Chacma, and it's not like a huge 50-roomed hotel where there's like 19 vehicles going out on game drive. From Chacma, there's only 1 vehicle, because that's all you need. Vehicles not overfilled. You can have a fabulous time. But now I alluded to the food, and then I moved on. Can I go back to your food offering? Because, you know, you don't give your guests a chance. It's out on game drive, back, it's breakfast. Go and have a look at the elephants at the waterhole. You've seen the elephants, now it's lunch. Okay, you can rest for 15 minutes, and then we're off on game drive. Then we come back, and then it's dinner. Now you can go to sleep, and we wake you at 4:30 tomorrow morning, start all over again.
Yeah, that's unfortunately on safari, that's how it works. It's you know, I always tell people, if you're going to go on safari, you must go for 3 nights, because 1 night you can't. You're going to blink. 2 nights, and you're just wishing that you could stay again, and 3 nights and more is better.
Yeah. And I seem to think that people who've never been on safari before don't realize that it's a long day. It really and truly is, because it starts early in the morning, and you virtually should structure, specifically if you're an international guest, structure your visit so that your trip to Cape Town or to the coast comes after your visit to Chacma or to one of your other Sun destinations, so that you don't have to wake up at 4:30 or 4:45 in the morning. You can have a proper holiday before you leave to go back home.
You rest. Yeah. You rest after your hard work on safari.
Well, this is it. Well, not hard work, because it's hard work for the guides, because they've got it. And the other thing, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, people seem to think that guides only work for a few hours a day. They wake you up at 4:45, they do a game drive, you don't see them again for the rest of the day, and then you see them again in the evening. So they figure these people, men and women now, only work like 6 hours a day. But that's far from it, because behind the scenes, those people are working almost a 12 to 14-hour day.
12 to 18 hours a day, unfortunately. Sometimes pickups, bush work, you name it, hosting, all sorts of things. Yeah, it's endless.
I mentioned the guest earlier who wanted to see a leopard, and that's a relatively easy ask. I'm normally the one that goes, pangolin, please. And then the guide will look at me and go, no, there's always one on the vehicle. Do you know what the strangest request for a sighting has been at Chacma?
Sure.
I know I put you on the spot. I'm sorry. Make something up.
No, probably black eagle.
Really?
Yeah, or Vero's eagle, as they.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You always get one clever birder who knows, who has that lifer that they've been looking for.
Another one, I must be honest, so your question is on the spot, but it's a good one, is Pel's fishing owl we see.
Pell, I've been so lucky because people, and I've just seen they're doing a Pell's lecture in Hoedspruit in the not too distant future. And I saw them in Botswana in the camp I was staying in, Courtney. The guide said to me, don't go out today. When the other guests, stay with me and I'll show you something very special. And it was Pels with chicks in the camp, in the ranger part of the camp. It had nested in a tree. And it's an awesome sighting.
Yeah, impressive bird.
It is indeed. On this last trip, I saw a Varro's owl out in the daylight. I'd never seen one before. They're very impressive. They really and truly are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney, what is a good time to visit Chacma for guests? Because you don't want them to be there when it's too cold, but also you don't want them to be there when it's boiling hot. Although, that being said, the suites do have aircon in them.
Yeah, Chacma is a all season, all year round camp, to be honest. Obviously, being in the area it is in that part of Kruger with the Mapanis, it's beautiful to come in the winter time to visit because then the leaves are all different shades. In the green season, in the raining season, it's beautiful, thick green foliage, and the mountains and all the koppies have got good leaf coverage as well. So, there's no good or bad time. All year is good there. As you said, we've got excellent air conditioning in the rooms, so they always nice and cool. There's a big swimming pool. In the winter, you might not be able to swim because it might be a bit cool, but that's for us that live here. Other people think it's hot here in winter, so we're very soft out here. We've really acclimatized to being warm.
Yeah, I think the furthest some of the South African guests will go is to test the outdoor shower in winter. I've done that in many a camp. It's my test of myself is can I shower outdoors in midwinter? But then what I do is I leave the indoor shower running on hot.
Oh wow.
And then outside shower inside to get warm, and that's I can tick, been there, done that. If people want to book for Chacma, how do they go about it?
They can either go online and book direct on our live availability on the Sun Destination website, or they can contact reservations at Sun Destinations and .co.za and send an email of inquiry.
Great stuff. Courtney, always great to chat to you. Thank you so very much for taking time, because I know you're a very busy fellow. To try and pin you down is almost like trying to hold mercury in your hand. If you remember as a child breaking thermometers, playing with the mercury, and it was poisonous, but my parents never told me. And look at me now. Courtney, thanks so very much. Courteney Blunden is the CEO of Sun Destinations. We've been talking about Chacma Bush Camp. From In Conversation With, I'm David Batsoff, and thanks for watching.